What's going on, people? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 11:28 p.m. on Monday the 12th of June 2023. This is the start of a very busy week for economic news releases, so I am going to be I'm going to be avoiding trading mostly purely because of the risks involved with this week. But I'm going to start with DXY today as opposed to GBP. You can see that we wicked down back into this weekly fair value gap, which I've had marked out for a while now. It's an inverted fair value gap, downside, upside, and now I want to see it act as support, and that's what we saw. We wicked down past the 50% level and traded into a daily volume imbalance, as you can see, right into nearly to the bottom of it actually. So if we drop down to the 4 hour, we can actually have a better look at that. As we've done this, you can see we took out some south side liquidity and then price expanded straight away, creating this massive bullish order block. You can see that we took out south side twice in this regard. We took out south side liquidity here, and we took out south side liquidity again today, resting here. So if you've been watching me for a while, you'll be aware that my bias with dollar in general is to see higher dollar. So this is nice to see. I've marked out a 4 hour fair value gap. It was inverted, but now that this is closed, I'll just make it this one. I want to see this provide support for price if we are to see higher prices. So I'm just going to mark out the 50% level of that, which is 543. And then so I want this fair value gap to provide support if I want to see higher prices and see us run into this buy side liquidity and eventually into this rejection block that I have marked out up here. The reason I have this marked out as rejection block is because we haven't actually traded into it yet. So I'm expecting price to, once it does reach above this buy side liquidity, I'd expect around here for it to turn around or to meet some kind of resistance. But other than that, as you can see, we wicked down, took out south side for the third time now within this area. And now I'd like to see this provide support, and then obviously tomorrow we have CPI, so whatever that's going to do, I'd like to see us expand higher mainly. We've also got a volume imbalance right here. This is a real volume imbalance. As you can see, no trading has actually taken place. So that would be interesting as a potential target. But so I'm going to go to GBP now. With this in mind, make sure you remember that my overall bias is bullish on GBP. If you watched my Sunday's video, which is my weekly review and expectations, you'll know that I wanted to see us dip above this buy side liquidity here. And then I was expecting a large reaction, which is exactly what we got, which is also nice to see. I was stating how I was anticipating price reaching up to this bar here, which is a rejection block, but you can see price struggled to do that, and we turned around quite aggressively as anticipated and traded down into the daily fair value gap, disrespected the inverted order block and the daily fair value gap in fact, and now you can see that we're trading back into that and creating some kind of retracement. Now when we traded up above into this buy side liquidity, you can see how quickly price ran away from it, and that's because if you go check out yesterday's video, I was stating how there was a six sister, as ICT coins it, there was a six sister moment whereby GBP was making higher highs, Euro was making lower highs, and dollar was making higher lows. So GBP had to catch up with Euro, and that's why I was saying I was expecting us to trade lower so aggressively, and that's what we got for Monday. Again, we've had quite a few aggressive Mondays recently, but at this point I'm not surprised, especially again with all the news releases we have this week. This is only just the start of the craziness we're likely to be seeing. So it's nice to see how we traded down lower. I do want to see lower prices, as you can imagine. And then if we drop down to the 15-minute, I want to see this daily fair value gap now provide some kind of resistance. As in, I don't really want to see us trade above the 50% level of it. So I'm going to jump up to the daily chart. And I'm going to mark out consequent encroachment, which is the 50% level of this. There we go. 50% is 7174. and you can see how price has treated this level already. Now, we have this massive gap up here. However, generally speaking, I don't really want to see price close anywhere above here for me to want to continue with a strong bearish stance. We should now start to see resistance, and that's what we can see happening here. Whether we trade higher or deeper into this fair value gap in general is another story. I don't really want to say too much, especially with CPI tomorrow. But I'd expect this to be a sell zone, and for the likelihood of us reaching into this fair value gap here, I'd say is quite unlikely. I reckon this wick is a potential target. However, into this massive fair value gap, I doubt it, because again, you can clearly see that we're in a sell program. We're looking for sell side liquidity, and again, this now inverted daily fair value gap should act as resistance. First, it provided support, as you can see here. I'm going to circle that for us. So this fair value gap provided support here, and then we went higher, took out buy side liquidity, and then we traded lower, and now I should be seeing this daily fair value gap provide resistance, which is why I want us to stay, generally below this level. But yeah, that's pretty much it. To be honest, there's nothing much for me to really state in terms of my expectations. Nothing's changed. As you can see, we traded just as I stated yesterday, as in terms of climbing up into that buy side and then getting rejected and running crazily right through from the end of London straight down to New York. Into New York, we can see us running down into this order block here. And that's where we're just bouncing off, right? And that's what we're just bouncing off right now. So I'd say keep an eye on this order block. Again, this is the 15-minute. It's rare that I dip down into these levels, but I'm going to have them marked out. I'll keep an eye on this order block. Again, like I said, I'm not really favorable on seeing price trade up around here. And I do want lower prices, but we can only wait. And again, with a week like this, remember, you got to remember that probability is very low. There's going to be manual involvement within the algorithms because of the news releases, as in FOMC and CPI. So yeah, I'd say stay out. Maybe have a look, have a watch. I am planning on watching FOMC and CPI tomorrow, so I'll obviously give an update and a rundown of what happened there. This has been everything. This has been GBP baby. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.